My name is Erica Hart, and I would like to take a moment to discuss the effects of fatherless daughters in the household. A lot of society people make the assumption that it is okay for a young woman or young girl to grow up without a father in the household. A lot of people feel it is only necessary for a man to raise a young man into being a man. But a lot have no idea of the effects of young women who live in households that have absentee fathers. Fatherless households for daughters tend to be more disruptive for a young woman. It gives a woman a sense of neglect, it gives them a sense of abandonment. A lot of young women who come from fatherless households tend to believe that there is something wrong with them and there's a reason why their father has abandoned them. Studies have shown that young women who come from fatherless households due to death tend to accept it a lot easier than a young woman who has come from a household where father has simply left or is gone due to divorce or separation. It's a little bit more acceptable, being that if a father is not able to be here versus a father who chooses not to be here. So, that being said, the statistics show that young women who come from households that are missing fathers tend to have higher rates of teen pregnancy. They also tend to show young women who come from households that have absentee fathers also end up having a high sexual promiscuous lifestyle, just because they're seeking that sense of want from being abandoned. It's not necessarily the woman's fault, but it's seeking something that may not possibly ever be found just from that whole sense of abandonment. Statistics have also shown that young women who come from fatherless households tend to also have children and create the same routine of having a fatherless household. A lot of the men that they tend to choose happen to be abusive or neglectful, but because they haven't had a positive male role model in their life, they tend to accept whatever man comes their way. A woman who comes from a household where she's been loved or shown respect by her own father or a male father figure, role model, they tend to have a higher expectation of what a man is. So they're not going to accept very much. So the statistics are showing that young women who come from fatherless households tend to accept less of a man than a woman who has come from a household where a father figure has shown her how to be loved, how to be respected, and what a man is supposed to do, what a man is supposed to be, rather than just a man physically there. I also have a child who comes from a fatherless household, but I choose to have a male role model, a father figure around, which is my father. My daughter's grandfather does 99% of the things a father should do for my child. Her father is not one who is participating. And it's all by choice. But I will teach my daughter and let her know that that's not something you should accept from a man to come around whenever it's convenient for him. You are worth more than that, and you should respect yourself more than that. So a lot of young women don't have that as an option. They don't have male role models. They don't have father figures. Some don't even have grandfathers. So I consider it to be a blessing that I do have a father who is available to be there for my child. As the statistics will show, the outcome of the young women who come from households with fatherless households, they end up having a very difficult life. The dropout rates for schooling is much higher, teen pregnancies are higher, drug rates are much higher. It's just a sense of loss. So for my speech, I figure it's better to expose and let people know what's important, and that it's also important for young women to have male role models in their household and not only young men.